So it is finally here. Apple has now officially released iOS 26.3 RC. The release candidate for iOS 26.3 is now available to registered developers and public beta testers simultaneously as of today. Now, of course, in this video, we're going to talk about when we can expect the software to be officially released to the general public, some of the latest changes happening with RC, and of course, aside from iOS 26.3 RC, Apple also released iPadOS, macOS, watchOS, HomePodOS, tvOS, and visionOS 26.3 RC, all available as of today. Now, if you have an iOS 18 device, iOS 18.7.5 and iPadOS 18.7.5 RC available today to registered developers and public beta testers as well. So a lot of software, a lot of RC software released today. Of course, we're going to talk about when we can expect all this software to be released in today's video. But aside from that, the download for iOS 26.3 RC was about 8.5 gigs of a download on this iPhone 17 Pro Max, updating from iOS 26.3 Beta 3 to the RC today. Now let's take a look at the latest build number. There is a possibility that Apple could release a second RC. We'll talk about those possibilities here shortly. There is the latest build number, iOS 26.3. The latest build is 23D125. So 23D125 is the latest build number for iOS 26.3. Now Apple could be releasing this software here in just a couple of weeks. Let's talk about what are some of the things that are currently happening with this software. Now, in case you haven't been watching, iOS 26.3 will bring some nice new features and changes to the iPhone, including a new option to wirelessly transfer data from your iPhone over to an Android device. So if you're switching over to Android, after updating to iOS 26.3, you can jump into Settings, General, scroll down, go under the Transfer or Reset iPhone option, and now you have an additional option here to transfer to Android. So this allows you to transfer everything on your iPhone, including messages, app data, email, other information, even including your phone number over to an Android device wirelessly. Now, obviously, this is going to be a great option available for those that like to switch over from iOS to Android, and it's now currently available with iOS 26.3. Now, for EU customers starting with iOS 26.3, you get two additional options. One is notification forwarding. Obviously, this will allow you to forward notifications to any third-party accessory or wearable. So if you wear something other than an Apple Watch for workouts, you'll be able to forward notifications to any third-party watch, for example. Now, Apple will also introduce a new proximity pairing mode for other third-party accessories as well. So with AirPods, if you use the proximity, pairing mode, you see this right here will be coming to third-party accessories within the EU as well. So two additional options for EU customers that will be introduced with iOS 26.3. This update will also separate weather and astronomy options within the wallpapers collection. So you'll now get more options for astronomy, and you get the wallpapers here for the weather, live weather on the lock screen separated from each other. I was quite surprised that we didn't get any new collection for the Unity collection this year. Apple did introduce a new Unity watch band, but no new wallpapers. Typically we see it with the 0.3 update, but it did not happen this year, at least here with this latest RC. Now, according to code within iOS 26.3, it appears that Apple may be laying the groundwork for carriers to enable support for end-to-end encryption for RCS messaging. Now, this is still to be confirmed by Apple. Hopefully with the official release of iOS 26.3, we get an official statement, but this will be really nice. Carriers will obviously have to opt in order to enable this end-to-end encryption for RCS messages. Again, this was found within code of iOS 26.3 Beta 2. Now, in terms of performance, battery life, and anything else, obviously I'll have a follow-up video in regards to that, but running this benchmark here initially with iOS 26.3 RC today, iPhone 17 Pro Max, versus iOS 26.2 back in December, the numbers look pretty close to identical, so not a major change here in terms of single core and multi-core performance, as you can see right there. So in terms of performance, things are looking pretty similar based on this latest report or this latest benchmark. So the next question is, when will Apple release iOS 26.3 RC? Now, although we do not have any confirmed information exactly when Apple will be releasing the software, typically after the RC, we get the official release the following Monday. So if history was to repeat itself, iOS 26.3 will most likely release on Monday, February the 9th. If something happens and Apple needs to release a second RC, that release could be, pushed out a little further out. And I'll keep you guys posted. Again, iOS 26.3 RC now officially available to registered developers and public beta testers. Let me know what you think about this software so far. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.